You may have heard me and Corey having a bit of a discussion there in the background, just in regards to Game of the Week for next Wednesday, again through the Auckland Rugby League website, www.aucklandleague.co.nz. In regards to Game of the Round, that'll be determined after all of the matches have been played today, and once that's all sort of settled down, we'll notify everybody and start promoting that on the Auckland Rugby League website. Antoinette's coming back to the halfway mark now, getting ready for Wesley to restart, and back to Corey.
So the clouds really starting to come over us here at Westlake. A little threat of rain, I think we'll be okay, but very overcast. And so Tui Pompey will get us back underway. This one a driven kick down towards the corner. It's allowed to bounce, but scooped up comfortably. And that one,
yeah, he hit him up off the ground, he handbraked and did the right thing and put him back on the terra firma.
And an early penalty there, just creeping up inside the 10. Westlake keen to take it quick, but in the end, kick for touch.
Really can't afford to be doing that.
And in terms of the calculations for who makes the finals and who doesn't, keep an eye on the Auckland Rugby League website tonight. All the results will come up there, and we'll have for you who the finalists are, who made it, who didn't. As you mentioned, it's all on the line right now. Every team still mathematically capable of making the finals, and St. Paul's the only team guaranteed of their spot. So it's all on the line as Sean Vetti takes a big hit up, and he's broken about the tackle of about 4 guys there. And the end found an offload. Unfortunately, Troy, it was to a guy in the opposing jersey, but some good enterprising play there from the big fella Vetti.
Wesley get out of jail card free there, and let's see how they perform with this next set. They've got to get their chat up, got to get a bit of energy into it, and they've got to start firing up. So let's see how they go.
Big set for Wesley, really, when you think of the confidence and the whole scheme of this game. They really need to, they don't need to score off it, but they need to make something of this, at least complete their set, make Westlake kind of work it off their own line. Good offloads there from the number 15. That's Simone Setefano. Spilt ball, but they recover. Coming out towards the left, and again Setefano involved. Good to see the big man backing up. Consecutive carries, met well in a 3-man tackle, driven into the ground by Westlake. Towards the right now, and this Pompey now works it out to Lawrence. Out the back now into some good space. A big don't argue from the number 1, Silo.
A big don't argue. I love you. Great call. They've slowed it down though. They had a bit of momentum, and the ball is now going to be settled out from the Westlake side.
Know what they needed, Wesley. They really need to rein these errors in. Momentum's such a huge thing in any rugby league game, especially these college rugby league games. They're a little bit shorter, only 50 minutes as opposed to 80. So if you get a little wave of momentum and can get a few points off that, it's absolutely vital. So Westlake now to work it out, and that's Gemmell with the hit up. Just short of halfway. So Wiki now calling the shots out on this right edge. Anisi with another good carry. Boy, he's been impressive today, Troy. I'd love to see his stats. Wiki heads back towards the pass, half to half. Wallace takes it to the line and then kicks, and it looks like a decent little kick, although it does find Wesley on the full. Good kick chase from Westlake, and they'll pin him down about 18 metres out from the zone line. So Wesley up to the 20, outside backs now getting involved. Decent yardage there from, I think it's the number 5.
Yeah, he's pinged a few metres there. It's still this one out league. Looks like they're getting a bit of a shift on now.
And again, it's Setefano getting involved. Spills it. May have got it. No, it was a knock on. So yet another error. Setefano there just trying to get the offload away when it's probably not on. And
I'm actually racking my brains, Corey. I'm not sure whether we're actually seen more than maybe 2 sets of 6 completed by Wesley.
Yeah, it's been a real worry, and obviously they made that really positive start where they, I think, scored a try before they were even tackled. So perhaps that gave them a bit of a false sense of security in terms of this game, and and they haven't been able to back it up since. But there's plenty of time left if they can just hold the ball, complete a few sets, make Westlake do some defensive work. So we head out towards the right from the scrum. This one, the number 4, Victor Moses. Out of dummy half, a good carry from Hood Kaitapu. So good yardage on offering in the early exchanges here. Back towards the middle again. This one, Gemmell.
Bit more discipline and line speed required from Wesley. You know, these guys from Westlake are just mowing down the centre here at this point.
It looks like we might have a bit of space out towards the left edge here. They'll go there. Wallace with a nice little pass at the line. The ball comes out. So Wesley survived that one, and credit to Wesley. I guess they stood up well to that set. Looks like we'll have no advantage and pack down for a Wesley scrum. And play or pause here for a man down. I think that might be the fullback for Wesley, Apanisa Salo. Trainers onto the field to check on his health.
In the old days, Corey, they used to run on. We didn't have trainers, we had sandbugs. And they'd bring on the magic water, and you could have a compound fracture with a bone sticking out the side of your shoulder, and they'd put the magic water on, and you'd get up and play on.
Oh, a beautiful glimpse into historic days in Auckland Rugby League from none other than Carlaw Park Diehards founder Troy Hardy. Nothing like a bit of nostalgia, Troy.
Well, mate, back in those days, they didn't have Powerade. They didn't have a lot of things that the players take for granted now. And one of the things you do probably get to see is that mud. Mud used to play a big part in rugby league back in those days. And some of the fields that we were playing on, like the one that... and he's away.
And as Troy's reminiscing, I think we may have a try here to Zay Wallace.
Yes.
I'm not too sure exactly what went on there, Troy. A bit of a muddle
He was running down a fine manicured field with no mud on it and decided to turn and burn, create a bit of speed, split the line and scored a try. So now we wait for the kick at goal, and I'll stop talking about mud on a field, because I dare say a lot of these young players wouldn't have experienced mud or a heavy field.
How huge has the inclusion of Wallace been? The first game we called here in round 2, of course, he wasn't available, obviously being used by Mount Albert that week. But he's absolutely changed the way this side plays. He's a classy guy, sort of late in tackles, and he's got that nice kind of footwork at the line. And that was a good little try there, just showcasing a bit of strength and speed, because he didn't have to do too much. I think the ball kind of spilled out about 10 metres from the line. But Zay Wallace, super impressive. And that could really be the killer blow as the kick is pushed away, so that makes it 20 points to 6. In fact, I think it should be 18 points to 6. The kick was missed.
Just while they're sorting that out, Wesley are coming back to the halfway mark. As I said earlier, all main games are being streamed live through the Auckland Rugby League website, www.aucklandleague.co.nz, brought to you by CTAS, our sponsors, SAS Sporting Apparel, and our associate sponsors being Hayden and Roll It. And we wait now for Wesley to tee the ball up, and the guys are getting ready to kick off.
So at this point, Troy, it's still a 2-score game, so Wesley are still in it, but they've got to make something happen and make it happen quick. Is that
I agree. Yeah.
towering kickoff down towards the centre of the park? I think it's Zanisi again involved, and boy, some of the big men have been really impressive today. Credit to them. Not just battering rams, some excellent skill on display as well as they head one out. Met in a 3-man tackle from Wesley.
Great footwork. They've managed to bend the line a little. You know, they haven't just bludgeoned themselves straight into it. And still really waiting for Wesley to unlock their value. You know, really to get the ball and complete their set of 6 and have a crack.
And tell you what, if Westlake can kind of keep these 3 playmakers they've got, Wiki, Wallace and Gemmell, kind of on the field at the same time, it's a great triple threat, Troy. They've got playmaking options obviously on both edge and also through the middle there, and it's we've seen Gemmell kind of cut with a few nice plays as Westlake are forced into touch there. So Wesley will get a scrum just over halfway, but Westlake super impressive with their, I guess, variety in their game today. And of course that's the bonus of having, I guess, a ball playing lock as opposed to a big man.
So as each minute ticks by, you know, becomes clock pressure for Wesley. They've obviously got a wee bit of pressure on the scoreboard, and they really need to put the accelerator down now and do something constructive.
We're looking at about 15 minutes to go, so there is plenty of time for Wesley if they can get it together. But other than that first try, Troy, we really haven't seen much from them. Just as we say that, Pompey breaks the line here, and he might have the pace to go all the way. He's been chased hard by Wiki, but he will get there. So great work there from Pompey straight off the scrum. Spots a gap in the Westlake line, and Wesley storms straight back into this. Crucial kick coming up, really. I think we're at 18-10 at this stage. If he can kick this, it becomes a one-score game, and suddenly it's game on.
And the sort of styles between the two teams, I think Westlake's been very great shape. They've had, you know, good form around the park, and they've been really constructive in regards to how they've gone about scoring their tries. Wesley, on the other hand, everything has gone against the grain. Somebody's, you know, stepped, gone through the hole, and then basically gone the length of the field, you know, 50, 60, 70 metres in some cases. So let's hope that kick is good, and we're in for, you know, a fantastic late part of the second half.
So the number 9, Lorenz Tupea, 15-year-old in his first year with this team. He's got a lot of pressure on him here to try and get this kick over, taking his time. It's from maybe 1.5 meters in from the sideline. Strikes it really well. It's heading back towards the left, and it will just... Well, from here it looked like that one definitely missed to the left, but both flags went up, so...
So we'll go to the crowd, and the crowd go, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So there you go. That's pretty well been cemented then. Great decision.
So all that matters is the scoreboard, of course, and it's 18-12 now, so it is a one-score game again, and Wesley perhaps getting a little bit fortunate there, but they'll take that, and a good, strong carry there from the number 16.
Great first run from the Wesley front row, and it looks like they're going to get a wee bit of momentum happening now, bit of energy. Westlake are going to have to be hard on the defence line, get their line speed up. Oh, great hit.
Big contact there as they look to go to the edge, and I think it may have been, it was an easy Wiki involved as well, so great work there from the Westlake D, and good carry forward this one from Tanaiti. Out of dummy half, just trying to spot a little gap there, Tupea. Nothing doing, about 40 metres out from the line, so it'll go back to Lawrence now. Dummies initially at the line, just steps back inside, and now they've got the ball out to the right, so let's see what they can do. They've got the numbers. Spins it out wide to the number 2, Robert Latour. But in the end, Westlake scramble to recover it, and look like they survived that one.
Just felt like there was a little bit of energy there in that last set, and Wesley was starting to get their chat up. They were starting to communicate a hell of a lot better, and Wesley, yep, they're still having a conversation around what's going to happen, or at least unfold in the next set.
So Wesley have got the feed here, so it will be a repeat set for them, so it must have been a little Westlake knock-on late in the piece there. So Tupea will feed the scrum, head out towards the left, and the fullback involved once again. He's been impressive today, Silo, with the opportunities he's got. Pompey into dummy half, heads out towards the left. Lawrence with the cutout pass, but it's down around the feet, so it's a poor pass in the end, and just lets Westlake off the hook.
Yeah, an opportunity's gone squandering there, I feel, and there are only a few tackles into that set. So be fair to say Westlake get a wee bit of room to breathe here, and so we get ready to reset again for the scrum. Looks like the weather's going to hold for us too, Corey, so that'll be a bonus.
Yeah, that's right. It's always preferable if we can obviously get some dry footy. The first game we called here at Westlake Boys, it was pelting down with rain, and as a result we saw a lot of errors in the match. So always better when you do have a dry footy and a dry ground underneath. Makes the footy all the better. So Westlake now working it out. And Troy, you just mentioned the increase in kind of energy from Wesley, and it's noticeable in defence as well. They know they've got a sniff of this one, and they're really firing up now. So good line speed. Wallace turns it back inside there. I think it's Anisi.
Yeah, they need to maintain it. Even the bench is starting to get a wee bit vocal over there for the Wesley crew.
And listen to that contact. Not sure if you're picking that up on the broadcast, but that one, a big solid carry from, I think, Sean Vetti.
Great kick. Great catch.
Yeah, good positioning at the back from Silo, just getting into the right spot, and makes a huge difference if you can get to that one on the full, of course.
Wesley boys still getting back into their half. Still not quite set yet.
Head out towards the left, and there's a bit of space on the left here if they can get the ball out here. In fact, they've got a great numbers advantage right now, but they missed their opportunity that time. Perhaps this time as Pompey gets the ball, and indeed they do. Comes out wide. The right idea, Troy. They had the gap, but in the end the pass probably just a little bit low around Sam Havili's knees, and he spills that one. So the right sort of thought there, and Westlake got to be careful on these edges that they are numbering up correctly.
They scrambled well there to that right edge, and diffused that sort of attack. I can see some of the Westlake boys out the back there now starting to warm up as well, so interchange is going to start playing a factor in this game as we start to see the minutes tick away in the second half. Bit of a conversation taking place down there.
And just as I'm looking around the crowd here, Troy, I think I've spotted a Kiwi legend and Tony Kemp sitting in the crowd watching. So
yeah.
Great to see a few former players down here watching.
No, there's a few here too. As I walked in, Huey McGann's one of the teachers here, and it's always good to see some of the past legends, you know, still coming down, taking a big interest in the game. And obviously with college rugby league, especially the SAS college rugby league competition, all the emerging stars that are coming through, all the big talented names, and you know, each week you sort of highlight one or two that have sort of come through the system. I think one of my favourites that's come through the SAS college rugby league via the ARL has been Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. And you know, when you're getting people of this sort of talent calibre, you know, we might be talking around the same sort of conversation with the young Wallace boy here. Who knows, a few seasons from now.
Yeah, and I guess the positive for Zay is playing Fox Memorial footy at just 18 years of age. So we saw that with, actually caught up with Christian Meeker on the weekend, playing for the Gold Coast Titans under-20s. So he, of course, played Fox with Otahu when he was about 17 years of age, I think, and then progressed on to the under-20s, which he said is less physical but a bit faster. But he said it's a great platform to launch you into those higher grades, given the physicality of it. You're playing against fully grown men, so it's a great launching pad for some of these kids, and an excellent competition, the Fox Memorial competition. So Westlake now working towards the sticks. Could carry out a dummy half, I think, by poaching. And Troy, you would think a try here would be the killer blow for Westlake, given that they already hold 6-point advantage. Nice little bit of play there from Wallace, just missed one out, created a mismatch in the end. Well scrambled by Wesley. Head out towards the right edge. Wiki with his hands on the ball, finds the space. And that will be Anisi, who scored, runs up the bank as well afterwards. That might be the killer blow, Troy. Great work from Westlake and Zay Wallace.
Yeah, they made that look fairly easy there towards the end. You know, they got the roll on down the park. As you said, shifted wide. They actually had probably 2 or 3 options to go to there to score that try. And Wesley, I'd say now it's getting to that point where they've got to pull the trigger, and it's now or never. So they've got to come back. They've got to be full of energy, full of drive, and to get back into this game. And here the trainer down there, even he's amplified with the Westlake boys. He's loving what I'm seeing. There's a lot of back padding going on, and a lot of encouragement. Have they done their interchange? Oh no, the boys are still on the bench. They can't be too far away, and it's even given the cheerleaders over the far side there something to wave their exercise 1B maths books around as they get ready for the big kick.
So Wiki with a key kick from out wide. He struck it really well, and it's a nice kick. And this time it does go over and the flags go up. There's no confusion this time. Wiki, a great kick from out wide. And that takes it out to 24-12. Wesley really, really up against it now. This is...
And look, you know, we talk about body language. The body language of the Wesley boys inside the dugout over there is not pumping me up. So they'll need to start getting vocal now as the boys come back getting ready for a reset and start teeing up for the kickoff. Westlake are already starting to talk to one another. They're already working out strategies and what they're going to do with the ball in this next carry of 6. And Wesley kick deep to the right edge, and Wallace is still talking to them.
So as it stands right now, Westlake have jumped into those semi-final spots. They'll jump up to 3 points if they can hold on for victory in this one. So their participation in the semi-finals will depend on St. Paul's beating Avondale and Kelston beating Aotearoa. So barring an upset in either of those 2 games, Westlake at this stage are through into the semi-finals. We'll wait for confirmation of those other results to be sure. We have a little pause and play here, and Westlake will get things back underway with the play of the ball. Not long left in this one now as it starts to get noticeably darker here at Westlake, boys. Westlake work it up through the middle of the park. Their big men have given them a lot today, particularly Anisi's played big minutes and done really well, as we see a nice little turn back inside play again. Wallace just spotting out those weak markers and taking full advantage of it. Poaching out of dummy half, catches 2 of them offside. They don't engage, so it's all right, but he makes great yardage in the process, marches them up to around about halfway. And again, it's one out stuff. Marker just tackles them around the legs. Wesley scramble well in the end. So Westlake now with some good front foot ball. Wallace now gets the stepping on, steps into 2, but he's not going to beat the number 3, Sam Havili. So Wiki now, last tackle. Good little kick, aims it back towards the post. It's going to go dead, but not a bad tactic really. Chew up a few seconds and get that line set again, Troy.
Yeah, I think they're just showing a wee bit too much class at this point. They seem pretty well controlled in regards to when they've actually got the ball. Wesley, though, it'll be interesting to see if they get one of their big guys to break again and bend that line. And
And a
referee
penalty.
said, yeah.
That'll be
So
welcome.
here we go. Might build a wee bit of momentum here. Let's see how deep they get down into the opposition's half and what they do with the ball in the next set.
Yeah, looking plenty of urgency there from the Wesley boys. They know it's probably a must score on this set if they are going to have any chance of this game. There can't be long left. We're looking at probably the last 5 minutes, if that. So Wesley in must score territory. Plenty of talk going on from Westlake to try and strengthen up those edges. They don't want to leak now, so they'll head out towards the right first of all. Wesley turn it back inside, and some good expansive footy being played here. Nice offload, and they may have some numbers out here on the edge, but the big man instead takes it forward, takes 4 of them to bring him down. So Westlake probably a little bit short on the line now. What can they do with it? Wesley head out towards Lawrence. Lawrence now works the left side, finds Pompey, and he's found a little bit of space, breaks the initial tackle. Westlake scramble well to take him down, but again it's requiring several defenders.
He's been one of their better players today too, I think, Corey.
Yeah. Big man now spots out the smaller defender. That's the big number 8, Lenny Nemir.
Right, they're going back to...
Yeah, go back and play the ball there. So the big fella just maybe trying to get away with a sneaky one there. Pompey into dummy half. Miss out the big man initially. This is the number 13, Kinanu Naden, Papakura Seagulls player in his first year with this team. Space perhaps on the right edge here, Troy. If they go to it, it's a knock on. And that is a coach killer. That might just do it. How disappointing for Wesley. They worked really hard to get into that position there, but just fundamental errors. They've let them down all game, and once again.
Yeah, even the cheerleaders are loving it over there. I think Westlake have done themselves proud today. They have, by all accounts, look like they've executed to plan. They've had a lot of energy, a lot of communication. They've always looked like they've had everything under control. They've never, never panicked. And for the last few minutes of this game, it'll be interesting to see what they do on their set of 6 inside their own half.
Wallace there just firing up the marker. Just a little bit of gamesmanship perhaps from Wallace there with the little fake play the ball, makes the whole line push up and then jog back. I'm sure you mentioned earlier about Tony Tuia, I guess, trying to teach him a lesson or two. Perhaps he's picked up a few lessons off Tony there, being a little bit cheeky. It's good to see.
Yeah, look, the young fella did well in that Fox game. He didn't get too bothered by Big Tony on the day, and I think, to be fair, he had professional players around him, which helped Wallace, perform on the day. A lot of old heads with good knowledge inside that Mount Albert Lions team.
So a shift out towards the right here. And towering bomb, not a bad option with the light sort of fading here. Early jump at the back. He just touched the ground, so in the end, that's a really good tackle, well timed. Wesley now with the job to do, working out from their line. Just watching our match manager here to check on time.
Yep.
Yeah, and he cops a high one there, as you say, Troy. So penalty to Wesley.
They might be able to redeem one here.
The other thing, of course, being for Wesley, points differential could be absolutely huge. So they're on 4 points. If Avondale are to win, they will join them on 4 points, and it will come down to differential. At this stage,
You're going to impress me with your maths.
Avondale went into this one with a -4 differential, while Wesley went in with a 0 differential, so there's nothing in it. So a try here, even if it doesn't affect this game, could be vital in the end to Wesley's hopes of making the finals.
It's getting a wee bit cooler here now as the afternoon's wearing on. It's also getting darker too, just quietly.
So good carry there from Simone Stefano. Nice offload away at the end of it. So Wesley then not going to die wondering here. They are working hard now, coming out of yardage up around the halfway line. And this a nice little dummy from the number 17, Samisi Faisila. Come out to the left, but Westlake, to their credit, really good kind of discipline in that line.
Yeah.
Nice second phase play here, and there's space here if they can get the ball out there. Crucial touch in the end by, it may have been Gemmell. Although it did look like it was probably a Westlake knock-on, so Westlake get away with one there. We've got a little late shoulder charge coming in just as the boys fire up a little bit. Good to see Stefano come in and check he's all right. We head into the final minutes of this final pool play clash between Westlake Boys High School and Wesley.
Well, we hope that you've enjoyed our coverage today, brought to you by CTAS. And again, big thank you to our major sponsors, SAS Sporting Apparel, along with our associate sponsors, Hayden and Rollett.
So Wallace working that left side again.
Oh.
And Wesley, well, there was a little bit of space there. The pass was a terrible one, missed everyone and went out. But that will do us today. So Westlake Boys High School keep their finals hopes alive with a 24-12 victory. We'll wait for confirmation to check if both or either of these teams will be playing past the regular season. But a good win from Westlake in the end here. They overcame an early setback where they conceded on the very first play that Wesley had. And in the end only conceded once more throughout the entire 50 minutes. So a good effort from Westlake. Congratulations to Heath Nola and the rest of the crew there at Westlake. And a good game to end pool play on, Troy. Absolutely.
I think Westlake done themselves proud. Wesley be going home and having a bit of think about what they need to do for next week to stay in the in contention. Just in regards to SAS, our sponsor for the College Rugby League, they're also the major sponsor for the SAS Fox Memorial. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, please make certain if you get the chance or the opportunity, head out to Harold Moody. There's two massive clashes on out there. The curtain raiser at 11 AM. We'll see the Richmond Bulldogs up against the Mount Albert Lions, and that will be an absolute classic. Richmond got them in the first round by about 2 points, I believe. So Mount Albert will be looking to redeem themselves in that match. And game of the round will be the Howard Hornets versus Glenora, and Glenora will be pretty tough at home. For game of the round next week with myself and Corey, the information and the details will be put up on the Auckland Rugby League website, aucklandleague.co.nz, and you'll be able to see which teams that we'll be going to inside the semis. And please join us then. As I said, it's brought to you by the Auckland Rugby League. Streamed by CTAS and sponsored by SAS Sports Apparel, as well as our associate sponsors being Hayden and Roller. It's been awesome to be with you again here today, Corey, and I know you spent a wee bit of time and effort getting all of the detail together, and especially all the backstories on some of the players that we've got here. So I know all of our viewers out there appreciate that, and look forward to being with you next week, mate.
Thanks, Troy. Yeah, can't wait for next week. It's going to be excellent. You know, whoever is in the finals, well, the 4 teams will be deserving. It's been that close this year, so can't wait for next week. Do join us if you can, and we thank you for watching today.